This is Sarah, and I am presenting my final presentation for the Savvy Student. So I began by conducting some research on discovering the problem that I found, and this is something that affects my day-to-day life as well as my peers around me. So saving money. On average, millennials only have about $2,400 in savings. American households have just about $4,800 in savings. I found 1 in 4 Americans do not have enough funds to cover any sort of emergency that could happen in their life. And the reason for this is because people don't know where or how to save money, or they don't have enough money to save. So I analyzed this problem, and this is where I came up with a solution. This is the mission statement I have: to educate college students, specifically Miami University students, about the importance of saving money and give ways to achieve productive spending/saving habits with focus on the world's current COVID-19 situation. So this is really what my project is aimed at achieving. Here's a little project overview before I get into the details. So I've created an Instagram account and a blog called The Savvy Student. This is kind of like the logos and the color scheme that you'll see everything follows throughout this whole project. And the Instagram and the blog really work together to promote these key messages about saving money. Some goals. I split these goals up into Instagram and the blog. So the Instagram is really there to provide visually appealing posts to engage users and attract attention, to share useful and relevant information on anything spending saving habits, also to give lifestyle tips during COVID-19 pandemic. So increase a lot of focus on healthy money habits, especially during this time. The blog is really focused on educating readers about saving and spending, sharing useful resources that they can refer to, either about saving money or just during the pandemic. Entertain readers by sharing informative but fun and visually appealing posts, and of course adhering to the same branding as the Instagram account. So the real difference between the two is that the Instagram is kind of short pieces of visually appealing, fun information, while the blog is more in-depth, longer posts that really are there to educate the reader. So before getting into the details of the project, I analyzed 3 different personas that this project targets. Persona A, these 3 personas exist on a spectrum. So persona A comes from a student that comes from a low-class family. They kind of struggle to afford things growing up. They have a scholarship at Miami, and they really don't know much about saving money, and they usually see money as a negative thing because that's where they've come from. Persona B is an average college student at Miami, grew up in the middle class with enough money to live comfortably, but they do pay for a lot of their things on their own, and they do understand a little bit about saving money and the importance of saving. And lastly, Persona C is on the other end of the spectrum. A student who comes from a wealthy, upper-class family. They're really used to their parents paying for everything, and they also don't understand the importance of saving money or kind of the need to save money. So this is a kind of in-depth list of Instagram topics / posts that I've focused on. So general topics are things like Tuesday tip of the day, such as like how to save, little things like that, online shopping sales, asking questions, running polls through the Instagram story, topics that are more focused on COVID-19, which is kind of how I redirected my project and really actually served as a great opportunity for my project. This would include happy and positive messages, of course, promoting staying at home and social distancing. I think it's important that this account shares reliable resources for up-to-date information on the pandemic. Also, online shopping tips during the pandemic, free workout program trials, which are really popular right now, resources for finding a job in today's very interesting job market and tips for working on school or work remotely, which is a new kind of issue at hand. Here's a screenshot of the Instagram account at the Savvy Student. So you can see that all of it is really under the same consistent branding. I tried to make it very visually appealing, a lot of different messages, but kind of you can tell what the overall message is promoting. Here's kind of just a closer up of some of the visuals that I've created. They all are very consistent with the branding, which was something I really wanted to stick to. And these are some screenshots of some Instagram stories I've created. So there's some that promote a blog post, or like one that's would link to a free 90-day workout class access. That's something that has more to do with kind of the COVID-19 pandemic, because there's all these free trials happening. And then these are a lot of topics for the blog that I've focused on. So general topics like book or website reviews, tricks to saving money in college, the importance of earning credit, the best credit cards for college students, in-depth information on savings accounts. Topics that relate more to COVID-19 include kind of an in-depth post how to save money when you're social distancing, what COVID-19 means for the market and you as a college student, the importance of supporting local businesses, ways to stay positive, why you should be saving money while quarantining, kind of again, like where to find a job in today's unique job market and how to prepare to work remotely, just more in-depth informational pieces. Here's a quick screenshot of the blog. So I've created a Wix site. This is what the homepage and the blog page look like. So consistent branding with the Instagram was really important to me. These are screenshots of just a few of the blogs that I've written. So I wanted it to be manageable as far as the length goes. So it's not a super long read, but it is more in-depth than the Instagram and does kind of provide a lot more information than what you would find on the Instagram. But the Instagram would really link to this. So I think it's important to focus on the literature review that I conducted in order to put in place in this project. I researched a lot of books, websites, and articles that talk all about the importance of saving money, and that's where I learned kind of all the content that I provided. A lot of the key takeaways I learned was how much your genes affect spending habits, and that I took into consideration when thinking about my personas, and that's why they're focused on kind of the family that the target market grew up in. And it's important to realize that you're growing up and your genes affect your spending habits, but it's important to teach young adults how to maybe change some of those negative habits, which a resource told me one way to do that is by combining practical advice with targeted information, which is really what my project set out to do. I also conducted a lot of competitor analysis. Here's a few screenshots of a few Instagrams and a blog that would be considered competitors to my project. I took a lot of key takeaways away from my competitors, learning that interaction is key. Their users are more likely to engage with you if you kind of set them up in a way to simply engage with the page. Also to provide quality visuals, so I really focused on making eye-catching visuals, manageable captions. That's something I found in my competitors, were that many of their captions were very long, and I focused on creating captions that were short, easy to digest, and helped aid the visual. And lastly, and probably the most important, is that I really learned that the COVID-19 pandemic is a great opportunity for my project, and I was able to use the current situation to really pivot my project and provide really beneficial and relevant information to my target market that many of my competitors do not provide. So this really provides a great opportunity for this project and shows how it could be really beneficial and compete against its competitors. And that is all. Thank you so much for listening.